Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius. Today's the 19th of June, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear here from that little left corner in there, and then, I will get back to you. Okay, so now then, guys, before we go further, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Okay, guys, so let's jump into the market. Oh, and by the way, if you think that something's weird with my face, basically, I dropped the glasses for today only. I want to see if that's going to work or not, but something that I'm going to see if my eyes are gonna get tired or not, but something new. I mean, a little bit. My egg-shaped face is now looking even more boring. But hey, let me see if this is gonna work well for my eyes today. But I want to see if this is gonna go okay. Anyway, so I hope I'll stick around with me even with my boring face like that. But anyway, guys, looking at the chart of Nikkei 225, look, we had a beautiful push higher, and last week I talked about some levels here, and for example this 33,850 zone, and there we go. We found good resistance near this level, and yes, we overshot it on Friday, but that's fine. But I think what's happening right now is a potential idea here of a correction could be working out. So again, I'm not rushing into anything yet, but I'm just going to go from what I have, and basically if we continue to struggle to overcome this 33,850 territory, then yes, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside, a test of this upside line potentially, or maybe a test of this 32,733. If we do pop above this barrier, the 33,850, okay, yes, I'll aim for the 34,000 mark after that, and then so on and so on. But at this point, look, I'm monitoring this very carefully. Again, this week might be a little bit of a calming down moment. In general, this week, guys, it's going to be maybe less interesting. Still, there are good things, interesting things that could be coming up, but in comparison to the previous couple of weeks, I mean, that's Anyway, so from the technical perspective on Nikkei, that's the situation here. I mean, that's the game plan. I think that from Japan, we will get on Tuesday, we're going to get industrial production numbers. So keep your eyes on those. Also, I think that the monetary policy minutes, I think that, the BOJ meeting minutes are going to be coming out. Let me just double check if I'm not mistaken. That's on. Is that on Friday? Was it? Remember? Okay. Sorry, guys. Not the minutes. No. No. It's not that. Industrial production. That's the meetings. Meeting minutes are some. It's from the RBA. That's what we're gonna be getting. Okay. Looked at the wrong one. But in general, from Japan, look, the Friday, where we're going to get here on Friday, the core CPI, the national core CPI, the national headline CPI numbers from Japan. So basically, maybe we might see some action on Monday morning. However, again, the week I think is going to be a little bit on the calm side, unless the indices start falling off the cliff a little bit, then that's where the excitement could come in. So long story short, I would say at this point, keep your eyes on the market in general, the broader market. Let's see how Jerome Powell testifies on Wednesday in front of Congress. So that could be an interesting moment. So again, this is what could a little bit, shift maybe the market, unless he says something interesting, and well, basically that's the drill, right? I mean, somebody says something, or somebody important says something, then yeah, the market moves. So at this point, I'm going purely from the technical perspective. I'm going to keep an eye on that 33,850 territory. If we do pop above it, yes, I'll go a little bit higher again, because not only that I need to see a pop, I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying above this area, and then we could go further north. Now, oh, by the way, before I go further, yes, good morning in the chat room. Good morning, everyone. There we go. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start on Monday, guys. So ASX 200. Oh, and by the way, I'm picking up on the instruments that I looked at on Friday, just to see, how everything's going to play out, or how it has been playing out since Friday. So could be quite interesting. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look at ASX 200. Look at this breakout, and a beautiful, nice breakout. Look, I talked about this, and I said to you that keep your eyes on this falling channel idea, and which also could be seen as a possible bullish flag. Yeah, there we go. We had our pop. We had our move above this downside line. So, or should I say the upper side of the falling channel. And then I said to you that my next target is going to be the 7,315 territory, marked by the high of the 19th of May, or is actually the highest point of May. Let me just double check something. No, that's not the highest point of May, but the high of the 19th of May. Good potential target. Let's see if we can reach that. The only problem, as I said, I have that the market right now, maybe, look, we could see maybe like a last push to the upside, and then maybe a bit of a corrective move lower. Again, this is what I'm hoping for. We'll see how it plays out. Again, at the moment, if I go purely from the technical perspective on ASX 200, this one for me looks a little bit more bullish than bearish. However, Nikkei is kind of pointing a little bit more towards the downside. So yeah. But let's, like I said, for now, I'm gonna go from a very, very short-term perspective. I want to see if we're going to reach that 7,315. I'm going to aim for that one if we continue to trade above the upper side of the falling channel. Affordable, good morning. And I also see your question. Have you discussed oil and gold? No. You can see on the list on the right there. That's what I'm going to go through. And that's the sequence that I go through normally. So you can check out always the, the instruments there. Oil is still here. You can see gold is still here. So that's something that I go through normally: indices, commodities, then maybe a couple of cryptos or something, and then forex. So yeah, so that's like I said, that's the list that I'm going to go through. Daredevil, morning. Hope everybody's having a wonderful start on Monday, guys. I hope. Like I said, I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and you came back nice and relaxed and prepared for this less exciting week. Oh, and by the way, just before I kind of let's say lose some of you in this in this webinar, because maybe somebody will jump off later on or something. But today and tomorrow are going to be the daily pitch videos, webinars. These webinars. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, none will be. And then I will resume on Thursday, actually, next. So basically, yes, for about a week or for about, let's say, 6 days. So around 6 sessions will be missed. So tomorrow will be the last one for this week, and then I will resume on 28th. Yep. On the 20, sorry, not the 20th, 29th, the 29th of June, on Thursday. So just to kind of let you know. But anyway, coming back to the indices here. Okay, in terms of the downside on ASX 200, look, although I'm looking at this as from the kind of potential idea of a bullish flag perspective, yes, great. It's for now it's working out. But if suddenly somehow this index starts falling back below the 7,200 territory, somewhere around here, well, that's where I'm gonna consider maybe a bit of a retracement back to the downside. China 50. Look, China 50 is kind of stalling here. It's kind of getting to the point right now that I'm going to look at it as if it's FTSE 100. Basically, I need to see this one clearing one of the sides of the trend lines here, one of the trend lines, let's put it this way, and then yes, I'll consider the next short-term directional move. But at this point, look, while it's stuck in here, it's not really exciting for me. And in general, look, China is on. It's gonna be partying this week. I think when Thursday, Friday for sure. Let me just double check. Yeah, Thursday and Friday. So basically, China has a short week. So if it wants to do anything, it needs to do today or tomorrow or on Wednesday. But again, today we could see a bit of lower volatility. This is, by the way, I'm talking about the futures here. So these are the futures. We could see a lower volatility because US is closed today. So just to let you know, tomorrow US is reopening, but maybe we'll see some more action going into tomorrow. Not today here on the futures I'm talking about. But of course, one thing that you need if you are trading China 50, and one thing you need to remember that tomorrow, yes, US is going to be back in, but before the US opens, before the US, China will trade. And very interestingly, we have the PBOC loan prime rate. So let's see how that's going to come out. Because look, last week they've cut their very short-term lending rate by 10 basis points. I'm very curious how this one's going to come out. Will we get a cut of some sort or not? But look, we haven't had a cut since like August of 2022, so for almost a year, I would say. Maybe if we had a cut of the 10 basis points last week on the Chinese, like a short-term rate, lending rate, I'm not saying that at the moment I cannot see any forecast. I don't have any forecast at the moment. There is just, it's showing that there's a previous one, but again, no forecast at the moment. So let's see. But I'm just trying to go from logic. Whenever I don't have anything else, I try to apply some sort of logic, if that's the case, look, if we're going to get a cut, maybe this will explode to the upside. Again, who knows, but maybe this will remain more kind of following the US market. We'll just have to wait and see, I think. But look, if we do start breaking this downside line here, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside, of course. And if we do drop below this upside support line here, taken from the low of the 1st of June, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the downside. Nasdaq, so of course, yes, US is closed today, but futures might still be moving. Looking at the picture here, we've managed to clear this territory around that 15,260 zone. We cleared it and we stayed above it. However, I'm not rushing into anything. In general, I would say I'm leaning towards the upside, but if we by any chance start dropping below that 15,260 territory and stay below it, maybe I'll consider a bit of a larger correction here to the downside. Maybe I'll be able to draw my favorite Fibonacci now, and I could maybe draw it from somewhere around here. Let me adjust this very quickly. Stand right there. We go. So maybe we could see a kind of a correction, nice correction here to the 23.6% retracement in the Fibonacci. But again, at this point, look, although it seems like we have peaked, right? But for that extra confirmation, I would like to see, like I said, a drop below that 15,260 territory in order to consider a bit of a larger correction here to the downside, maybe towards that 23.6. S&P 500. A similar story. It seems like we're forming these kind of possible bullish flags or something like that. But look, don't rush into this. Again, we have a week which is less interesting. Maybe some negativity could kick in. Maybe something will happen with the initial and continuous jobless claims, which are going to come out on Thursday. Before that, on Tuesday we get the preliminary building and housing starts. So building permits and housing starts from the U.S. In general, then I think that what else is coming out from the U.S. Okay, of course, the Fed Chair Powell's testimony in front of Congress. That's something to keep an eye on. Check out the economic calendar for that. And then I think that it's kind of calming down a little bit. Was it Wednesday or Thursday or something? Is it in 2 days? Okay, I'll have to double check this with you guys, because I think it might be like for a couple of days. But anyway, so in terms of other economic data from the US, services PMI, that's the interesting one. So the preliminary number, by the way, not the final one, but the preliminary, but that's something to keep an eye on as well. Manufacturing, also preliminary manufacturing numbers are coming out from the US. And that's all on Friday. So, in general, like I said, might not be the most exciting week, but still here and there, a few bits and bobs in there, it might, give that shift here. So we'll see. The moment, what I'm looking at here from the technical perspective is I'm sticking to some of my levels. So, for example, this 44.33 territory on the S&P. If we do fall below it, yes, I'll consider a correction here, a larger correction to the downside. But then, of course, the bulls should still keep in mind that there is an opportunity maybe to bounce off this upside line. In general, I would like to see a correction. But the market doesn't always do what I want it to do. So at this point, look, maybe this is going to end up being a bullish flag here or something like that. But I would say if it is a bullish flag, my next target is the 4,509 zone right here. That's the high of the 21st of April of 2022. Good potential target, but again, given that we had already quite a steep up move, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. Maybe that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe I'm being a little bit on the bias side, don't get me wrong, but look, I'm not going to be surprised, for example, if you do shoot up at some point, spike higher here, and then kind of reverse, take out a lot of sellers and then reverse back to the downside. So just keep that in mind. Winston76, good morning to you too. Yeah, good morning. Good morning, D. Good morning, W. I thought it was funny. I was funny, but I'm sorry, it was a lame joke. Anyway, but thank you. Good morning to you too. Good morning. Good morning to everybody else who's just joining in right now. So I hope everybody's, like I said, having a wonderful start of Monday. Dow again, similar story. Look, there's not much to talk about here. The only positivity here is that we are trading above this downside line. I spoke about this last week, if you remember. I said to you, keep your eyes on it, because if this gets broken, I will be very excited with the upside, and I'll continue targeting higher levels. Now, another thing that I've said to you, that look, maybe this is a nice inverted head and shoulders pattern, with the left shoulder being here, head, and the right shoulder there. So that took us only around a little bit more than half a year. So to form. So maybe will carry some significance. But look, at this point, I would say this way, that at the moment I'm seeing a bit of a retracement, and I mentioned before that to you one theory that okay, although this is a neckline, but at the same time it's a trend line. Whenever we break a trend line, an important trend line, we kind of revisit it. After the break, we revisit it from the other side. So in this case, I'm kind of hoping to see maybe a retracement here all the way towards this this downside line, which the so-called neckline, which got broken. And if that gets if that gets tested, and if it holds, great, wonderful. A bit of a rebound here maybe could be possible. However, if we start breaking the this downside line. That's where it could become quite interesting for a few more sellers, and we could see a test of the 50, the 100, and the 200-day EMAs. DAX, the German index. So we're after we created an all-time high on Friday. We've tested the area around. Let me just grab a line. I think I need a new line because all these I want to keep for now. Oof. Bit of a fat one there. So 16,571. That's what we tested here on the futures. We're still trading above the highest point of May as well, so that's good. So in a way, that's kind of pointing to something like this. Even if we do drop below this hurdle, then we still have this upside line to consider. But now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep my eyes on that upside line. If we clear it, I will consider a move towards that 16,135, 125 levels right here somewhere. This area. I've redrawn this a little bit. Look, I think this makes a bit more sense at this point. So if you're looking for some lower levels from the very short-term perspective, for example, then if we do drop and stay below the 16,374 territory, yes, I'll consider this potential move here towards this upside line. If that upside line gets broken, then yes, more sellers could join in and we could aim for that 50-day EMA or maybe even lower, but let's not rush into anything. But for now, at this point, look, as long as we stay above this 16,374 territory, I will still kind of stick to the upside. Although my ideal scenario here for the upside could be from somewhere around here, from a break of that this all-time high, the 16,571. So if we do clear that one, then yes, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. The FTSE 100. So as I said, with Nikkei, with China 50 index, it looks like FTSE because it's stuck here in between these trend lines. Look, I would say this way, that if well, actually, there's not much to say because, again, with this week, I hope it's going to do something. I hope that it's going to move out of this, because it's currently trading, between these two trend lines, or a few trend lines, actually. This downside line taken from the high of the 21st of April and this shorter term upside one taken from the low of the 20th of March. I'm not talking about this other one here, the medium-term one drawn from the low of the 13th of October. But again, maybe it's a little bit on the tentative side. Maybe this is on the tentative side. Who knows? But look, we have to start from somewhere. And given that this week we do have some events coming out from the UK, I think UK is going to be the more exciting one this week. So for all you FTSE traders, for all you pound traders, watch this week. Because this week, not to mention the BOE decision, the BOE interest rate decision that's coming out. When? Let me just double check. I think that was on Wednesday. No, it's Wednesday. That's the CPIs. UK CPIs are coming out on Wednesday. Thursday, there we go. So Thursday we do get the BOE interest rate decision. The expectation is for a further hike. So from going from 4.5 to 4.7. Okay, let's see. Like I said, let's see if we're not going to get a surprise or something like that, because it would be quite interesting to see if the BOE comes out and says, "Oh, you know what? We're also going to pause. We're also going to take a little pause, and maybe we'll resume the rate hikes later." I'm not saying anything, but again, or let's say if they stick to their plan, it comes out at 475. Then if it comes out at 4, or let's say at 5 straight away, I mean, that would just kind of, I don't see any logic in that, but okay, because I think that if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check the inflation numbers on from United Kingdom. 8.7. Okay, so still far from the. Okay, it's better than the months before, yes, because before April, I think, yes, 8.7. It came out at, it came out at 8.7 in May. The number for April was the number that came out in May. That was the number for April. It came out at 8.7. Before that, it was 10.1. So, yeah, I mean, look, the inflation target is roughly around 2%. So, still far. So, in a way, yeah, maybe a rate cut is actually not something that the BOE is looking for. So maybe we can actually scrap that idea, because even though the Fed did it, it might not work well for the BOE. So maybe they will continue with the rate hikes, and that's why, like I said, that's where I'm curious if the inflation is not falling, let's say, quick enough. Maybe they will go for a harder one, or they will try to extend it for longer, but just sticking to those 25 increments, 25 basis point increments. But again, like I said, I would strongly suggest here to just wait for the number to come out and then maybe do something about it. Because again, but then still, if you are doing something about it, just have your stop losses in place. Honestly, risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. Because you might, although we always wait for volatility, but sometimes volatility might not be our friend. The dollar index. Let's jump into that one. So we are here still. What I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for, if I want to go further south, I need to see a break of this upside line somewhere around here. Because look, these two upside lines, both of them are drawn from the low of the 14th of April. Both of them are tentative, and I have no clue which one's going to be the more accurate one, because that's why I'm having them both. So if we do drop below this upside line, okay, then yes, I'm going to aim for this upside line. But look, of course, some of you are saying, but hey, what about if it drops lower here, tests this one, and then rebounds back up? Okay, then that one's this trend line. We will focus on it a little bit more than the other one. But at this point, look, I would say I'm still kind of bearish, because we have a pole and we have something of a bearish flag forming here. The only problem is that we have this upside line, so there's not really much room, unless we start breaking everything here, and then maybe this will carry more significance. This the flatter upside line will carry more significance. But at this point, look, I would say I'm watching carefully. I'm watching this barrier here, this 102 zone. If we somehow trade below it, then yeah, maybe a further, a continued move back down could be possible here. So basically, if this hurdle here, the 102, continues to provide some resistance, maybe the bears will take advantage of the higher rate and then push it lower. Look, another thing that I wanted to point out here is maybe maybe if we do draw a Fibonacci here, look, it's near that, the 23.6 is near that 102 zone. So a four wall, which one are you talking about? Discuss this more in 4-hour time frame. Which one? Please specify, because I think that the messages are lagging sometimes, and that's why, just kind of let me know the instrument. But coming back to this picture here, look, from the shorter term perspective, if you think that this is worth capturing this little drop here, okay, you can try to maybe figure this one out. But like I said, for me, I'm going to stick to this 102 territory. Yes, if it continues to provide resistance, then a drift, lower could be possible. But if we do start breaking this one, then yes, this is where more excitement could come in, and because of this potential idea of a bearish flag. In terms of the upside here, to consider some higher levels, U.S. index. Okay, with the U.S. index, look, just bear with me one moment. Let me finish off with the daily. And on the I forgot what I want to say. Okay, for the upside, sorry. For the upside, look, the tricky bit is here, that if we do pop and stay, let's say, above this 102 territory, yes, it kind of increases the chances maybe to go a little bit higher, but probably I would, just for my personal extra cautiousness, I would like to see a push maybe above the 102.24 territory, somewhere around here. But even then, I'm not really going to start, let's say, targeting this downside line. No, I'm going to aim for the I'm going to aim for this 50-day EMA here near the 100-day EMA. This is what I'm going to aim for initially, and then we will kind of go from there. But I need to see. That's why my arrow here is only like this. If we do push back over the 102.24 territory, then yes, I will consider a move towards that those 50 and the 100-day EMAs. On the 4-hour chart, look, okay, the 4-hour chart, from the short-term perspective, like I said, it's kind of still going in line with the idea that I just mentioned. So I still have this barrier, which is still the 102.04 here, roughly. So the 102 territory is still the one that I'm watching. If you think that this could be a bullish flag here, for example, this pole, this little correction here, that's, like I said, that will spill into my my upside scenario. But still, you know, this is where I said to you that if we do push back above the 102 territory and stay above it, then yes, I'll start considering some higher levels, but I'll get more comfortable probably with the 102.24 here. Look, on a 4-hour chart, this territory doesn't look very attractive. Maybe this looks a little bit more attractive. But if we, for example, pop higher here above this 102 territory, everybody gets very excited, you know, starts going in higher, but then we find a good hold up here, and then we retrace back down. Yes, a little bit of a disappointment. So it kind of goes back, like I said, to my daily chart, kind of, and I see less noise on the daily chart, so I just kind of, you know, stick to the trend. I see the trend a little bit more clearer. Okay. If you find, I do still look at shorter time frames. Don't get me wrong. It's just for these analysis that I'm doing here for this webinar. I am looking at dailies because, in general, you get the direction. You know, you get, once you find out the direction on a shorter time frame, you look for your possible entries, right? So, if you have, you know, if you have a good you know, amount for a stop loss, you can also allow it to trade. And on the daily, by the way, you can also see, let's say, the reason why I like looking at dailies here, because, for example, I can see these moves. I can see, like, for example, this daily candle, right? I mean, I can see that, okay, maybe today, let's say on Friday was a small little candle here. Maybe today is going to be a smaller one because maybe we're building a nice possible bearish flag here. So sometimes on a 4-hour, it kind of gets way too noisy, and that's why, you know, might kind of put you away from, let's say, seeing the bigger picture. But in general, don't get me wrong, I look at the 4-hour, I look at the 1 hour, but in general, I first determine the trend, and then I see, and then let's say I decide on this day what I'm going to do, and then I look at the shorter time frames to kind of maybe try to position myself correctly. But at this point, looking at the picture here, for now, I'm gonna wait this one out, and then I'll see what's happening further. Gold, okay. SATS Trading Capital, gold will be a buy today. You know what? If I would have a crystal ball, I would say the same thing. But you know, if you have that feeling, or maybe you have some sort of logic and justification, look, absolutely, maybe your views are going to be totally different ones to mine, and that's fine. That's, in general, you all have your own view. You're just probably tuning in here maybe to pick up something, maybe something that you've missed out somewhere, you know, in like a missing component, and then you're going to add that component into your analysis, and you're gonna reach for the stars. So exactly, like, if you think that it's going to go, or it's a buy and it's going to go higher, feel free. The only thing is I'm going to go from my kind of logic and in general from my approach, and yeah, I'll take it, my way. But looking at the picture here, and I get it, and I can see that there is some potential for some upside. The only problem that I have here is that, look, I said it before, and I'll stick to my trading, my technical analysis rules. We are currently in a somewhat of a falling channel. While the boundaries of the falling channel are intact, it could still mean that the trend is to the downside. So if you think that this could be seen as something of a bullish flag, yes, it could be. But if, let's say, in any way, a break of the upper side of the falling channel here would be needed, because even if it is a bullish flag, you would still need to see a break of a barrier somewhere around here near the 1968 territory, because that will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then more buyers could join in. At the same time, we would push above the 50-day EMA right here, and there we go. Then we could start targeting the 1984-85 levels. But at this point, look, we could still see a bit of a drift back down here. We could see, if it is a bullish flag, a 4vol wants you to discuss gold from daily time frame to 1 hour. Look, I'm not gonna jump into, okay, if you want to pick up on the 1 hour, but still, it's not gonna change what I'm gonna say from if I'm looking at the daily chart. So at this point, look, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to consider, like I said, if we do drop and stay below the 1954 territory, 55, 54, approximately around here, I will consider maybe a retracement back down to a retest of this 100-day EMA, because it seems like we're currently oscillating here. So the 1 hour, for example, chart would not tell me that. And I see this as a good target. Eventually, like I said, the daily chart, if you do like the 1 hour, look, 1 hour here, if you think that this is a nice, maybe possible head and shoulders pattern, okay, but this is coming in line with my idea of targeting then the 100-day EMA. So you can, draw a bunch of necklines here if you think, if it is a nice head and shoulders pattern, but still, we could go a little bit lower here, but then, for example, where is that target? Is it somewhere around here? This is probably the most logical point here for the downside on the 1 hour chart. But actually, let 1940. Let's see if it's going to align nicely with the. No, it's not aligning nicely with my target, because look, this is a strong area of support. Could be strong area of support, the 100-day EMA, this area around the 1949. So although on the 1 hour chart, it makes sense, for example, to target this area, but actually maybe it's going to be somewhere only around here, this 1945 or something like that. So could be the case. Yes, could be the case. I'm not saying anything, but just in general, the area will be around here, because look, I try to stay away from trying to predict an exact, let's say, hit of a level or something like that. When I'm aiming for something, I'm aiming for a territory. And for example, on my daily chart here, this the 100-day EMA shown as the green line here. Let me remove a bunch of these lines. This 100-day EMA is kind of not far from that, maybe this 1945 level, but actually it's somewhere around that 1949-50 zone, approximately around there. So that's why, for me, like I said, I'm going to come back to the same thing that I said before. For me personally, hourly charts, let's say for a bigger analysis, for a broader analysis, hourly, 30-minute, 4 hour, they have too much they have too much noise. So if you have something that you're trying to see here, a 4 hour chart, I mean that's not really something that that something tells me here, but it's the same daily analysis for me. The daily chart analysis for me is making sense, because at this point right now, the 4 hour is also giving me some noise. So that's what I was saying. So yeah, in terms of, like, say, let's remove this, clean up the chart a little bit because it's getting too noisy, too crowded here. And look, for me at this point, I would say this way, that if we do continue to trade somehow today below the 1954 territory, I will consider a move towards this 100-day EMA, which is roughly around that 1949.50 territory. If it provides good support, maybe a nice rebound here could be possible. Silver. Silver is stuck here below this downside line. I didn't actually expect this downside line to work well, but so far so good. It's working out nicely. So look, at the moment, I'm going to continue to watch this. If we do pop above it, great. I will go higher. I will aim for the current highest point of June near the 24.53 level. But if that gets cleared, guess what? Higher levels could be met. So at this point, I'm only going to be aiming for this if we do break the downside line. For the downside, look, if we do start falling below the my 50-day EMA right here, I'm going to consider a move towards the 100-day EMA, and then I'm going to aim for the 23.25 level. So look, in general, this area, if you're, let's say, not comfortable of trading this area, I will totally understand, because this is not the most exciting area here right now, and to be honest, it could be a little bit noisy, it could be a little bit choppy. So if you will decide to trade, for example, this area, you have to have a very wide stop loss just in case this suddenly reverses sharply, against you. And you can only trade what you can afford to lose, because at this point here, look, what I'm going to do here from the shorter term perspective, for example, for today, I'm keeping an eye on the low of, this is a Sunday candle. Sorry, this is not going to work well, but, yeah, if we're at the moment, I would say this way: as long as we stay below this downside line, I'm going to aim for this 50-day EMA, which is approximately around that 23.94 territory. If we start falling below it, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the downside. Then I'll aim for the 100-day EMA, and then maybe so on and so on. But I'm going to go slowly, step by step. Oil. Okay, guys, oil. Oil is, so for now, for me at this point, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, kinda-ish, in the near term, because we broke the downside line and we are still trading above the 71 territory, so that's good. That might bring the bulls back to the table, and we could see a push towards that 50-day EMA. If that gets cleared, now that's where I'm going to get more excited. At this point, I'm kind of cautiously bullish, but if we do start getting closer to the the 50-day EMA and we start clearing it, I will go higher. I will aim for the upside, and maybe I'll aim. I have the 73.28 level, but I think it's better to mark this one, because the 73.86, which is near that 100-day EMA, so maybe this could coincide with it. So long story short, look, at this point, I would say that I will sum up a little bit. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, because 71 territory, I'm keeping an eye on it. If we continue to trade above it, great, I'll go higher. If we start clearing the 72 zone right here and the 50-day EMA, I'll get excited even more with the upside, and I'll aim for that 100-day EMA, which is not far from that 73.86 level. For the downside, ideally, this is my level for the downside. But given that we have broken this downside line, I think that we can reuse it and draw an upside one. So that means that we have something like this from the very short-term perspective. And if we do want to go lower, I think that the better option here is to wait for a break of this upside line, and then leave some room here, let it jump around here, move around here a little bit. But then let's say if we start breaking this upside line, that's where, yes, I think I will start considering some lower levels. In terms of some levels here, actually, I think that maybe this territory, the 68.04 territory, could be a nice one, and then we'll go from there. Just a quick update on natural forward 4-hour chart on oil. I have nothing else to say, to be honest, on this one. It's the same logic. If you just want, I'm still if I want to go higher, still 72 territory. The only thing is that on the daily chart, it had also like an extra confirmation, which was the EMA here, the 50-day EMA. So that's why it's still the same for me, the 72 territory. If we want to go lower here on this one, I will consider still a break of this upside line. I mean, on the 4-hour, it skews here a little bit. I think on the daily, I find it a little bit more accurate here, but not more accurate, but like just it's a little bit more maybe general. Actually, on the contrary, it's not accurate. It's general, but roughly, if it breaks this, okay, you know. So it's the same situation here on the 4-hour. For me, look, I will. If I want to go lower here, I want to try to capture this territory somewhere, maybe a drop below the 70.49 zone here, back below this hurdle, the one that I mentioned previously. So if we do drop below it, maybe, yeah, we'll consider a bit of a retracement here. But again, this is, it will be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So, I rather wait. I don't try to capture every moment, every second or something like that. But just at this point, look, it's the same analysis as on a daily. Natural gas, guys. This is something that I wanted to pick up on. Look, from the technical perspective, it's looking quite positive in a way, because I talked about this last week. I've mentioned, look, I said to you that we broke this, we broke the downside line, and now the theory that I'm going to revert back to is a retest of the broken trend line. So at this point, let's see if this is going to happen or not. I'm not saying that this always happens. No, for sure not. But look, at the moment, like I said, I need to keep an eye on this downside line. If we retest it, then great, we'll go back to the upside. Wheat, just a quick update on this one as well, broken nicely. So again, at the moment we're above above the 50 and the 100-day EMA. As long as we stay above the 100-day EMA, I will continue targeting the 200-day EMA. But if we start falling back below it, I will consider maybe a retracement here and a retest of this broken downside line. Just a quick update on Ethereum. Beautiful rebound from this territory. I spoke about this, so not much to add. What I'm going to do here is, look, I said to you before that I'm going to stick to this 200-day EMA, and you can see why, because it's providing some resistance right now. So this is something you can see here nicely, clearly on a daily chart, and it's providing that, yes, we had some false breakouts here, great, but in general, it stayed below the 200-day EMA, so the bears are really not giving up. If we do push and stay above this 200-day EMA, yes, I'll consider maybe some higher moves here, moves to the upside, but only up until this upper side of the potential idea of a falling wedge pattern. Because, again, I said to you before that, yes, we're still above this upside line, but also we are stuck in this falling wedge pattern. In general, everything's kind of pointing towards the upside if we just go purely from the technical analysis rules. But if we, but in order to consider that, those higher levels, a break of this upper side of the falling wedge is needed. But from the very short-term perspective, for now, I'm just going from that. I'm keeping an eye on that 200-day EMA. Dogecoin, this is just amazing. The 0.0626 territory is providing good resistance. That's the lowest point of March of 2023, guys. And so far, this barrier is doing a good job. And yes, we are having these false breakouts, and these false breakouts just prove that, how important this area is. If we continue to trade below it, then yes, another correction back down here could be possible towards this this downside line, or the lower side of the falling channel, because don't forget, overall we are in a falling channel. We do have a lot of space here to the upside, but for me to get comfortable with higher levels, maybe a push back above the 50-day EMA would be needed. Okay, guys, let's jump into a few pairs before I run out of time here. AUDUSD. Look, finally, I think I can draw my Fibonacci right here. And looking at the picture here, you can see that if I am marking this highest point of last week as the peak, then we are on track to maybe correct lower. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna stick to this 23.6. And by the way, the 23.6, look at this. It's not far from, well, it's just around my area, the one that I talked about previously, the breakout zone. And look how everything's aligning nicely, perfectly. And then look at these 38.2, the 50, everything's just kind of spot on. But okay, let's not get too excited for now. Let's put it this way. I will draw this arrow, the curved one, up until here, up until this 23.6, and then we will go from there. If we do start dropping below the 23.6, which is approximately around that 0.8797 territory, then yes, I will consider a move back to the 200-day EMA or this 38.2. Simple as that. In case we don't go to the 23.6 here and instead start reversing higher, yep, keep your eyes on that barrier on this one right here, the high of last week, the current highest point of June near the 0.6920 territory. If we clear that one, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. AUDJPY is also, you know what I want to do? I really want to clear up this chart with all the lines, but I really still like them. Okay, look, let's put it this way. I'll draw Fibonacci from around here. At the moment, I am aiming for this territory right here, this 96.57 territory, somewhere around here, and it's near that 23.6% retracement. If we do draw it from the low of the 5th of June to the high of, well, actually let's draw it from to Friday, and this is a Sunday candle here on the futures. Oh, sorry, not the futures, but just on my chart. But look, in general, what I said to you that I'm going to keep an eye on this territory, this inside swing low of the 12th of September, which we shot a little bit, but overall we kind of stayed below it. So at the moment, yes, I'm considering maybe a bit of a larger correction here to the downside, and to be honest, I think it's time. And what I'm going to consider first is this 23.6. Then after that, I'll take it from there. I'll see if we break it or not. If we break it, okay, I'll go for that 38.2 and so on and so on. But I might remove some of the levels here, but again, actually, you know what? I'm going to remove this one. It's a little bit in the way. It's getting way too crowded. So yeah, just let's simplify life. AUDCAD. So this one's also correcting nicely. And look at this. I talked about this hurdle, 0.9107. I said to you that if we break and stay above it, I'll go higher. Well, we broke above it, but we failed to stay above it. So that means it created a false breakout. And this is kind of pointing a little bit more towards the downside right now. If we break the upside line. At the moment, we have to class this as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. But for me, I'll just take a conservative approach and I'll wait for a push up of the 0.9107 territory in order to go higher. For the downside, a drop and below this upside line would be ideal for me. NZDJPY also correcting nicely to the downside. Anyway, all of I think that this is where I said to you that be careful with the indices. Although maybe they're showing us these nice bullish flags or something like that, but just take extra caution, and because we're seeing some yen buying, and if that kind of goes further, then well, we could see indices falling a little bit. But look, on NZDJPY, I want to draw this. I really like this line here. There we go. So there we go. So I really like this line drawn from the low of the 1st of June. And yeah, if we do fall below this hurdle, look at how well this 87.88 territory held this pair. And if we do fall below this again, then yes, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside, guys. Maybe even going back to this hurdle, this 87.35, which I mentioned to you, if you remember, in the beginning of last week. And I said to you that if we clear it and we stay above it, then yes, I will go higher. And then look at this. We went higher. We tested all my targets. Boom. Now let's see if we can fall below this 87.88 zone and stay below it, and then we could consider a larger correction here to the downside. USDJPY, just a quick update on this one. Okay, look, so far this is looking quite bullish, to be honest, but we are near this key resistance barrier, and let me just grab it. I think I'm gonna mark this right here. So yeah, we are near this resistance barrier, and the question is, can we go further north here? Well, look, I'm not gonna rush into anything. At the moment, I'm gonna I'm gonna just maybe draw from the short-term perspective something like this. But it's not really very attractive. Actually, maybe it's better to draw something like this instead. So look, in either way, if I want to go higher, I think at this point I will allow it to move a little bit here. I'm not really going to do anything. If it starts shifting back and forth here somewhere, I'm just observing the price action. But if it starts popping above the 142.24 territory right here, that's where more excitement could come in. And then I will start aiming for levels around here, the 145.11 or even above that. But at this point, like I said, guys, I'm just being very careful. If it breaks the upside line here and falls somewhere below this 140.45 level right here, I will consider a correction here towards this 50-day EMA. And remember what I said about the yen just now. USDCHF, okay, this one's a little bit different. Okay, they also drifted lower. Look, as long as it stays somewhere below this territory, I will continue targeting the downside. And also keep your eyes on the Swiss National Bank interest rate decision, and that's coming out on Thursday. Yep, on Thursday. So the expectation is also for a rate rise, but yeah, it's not as big. It's basically going from 1.5 to 1.75. So their Swiss National Bank is still around there, so they're maintaining their inflation quite well. So yeah, at this point, look, if we do rise, if we do see an interest rate rise in there, a hike, then yes, a nice decline here, further decline here could be possible on USDCHF, where I'm going to aim. I'm still aiming for my 0.8870 territory right here, or maybe this 0.8820 zone. USDCAD, just a quick update on that one. USDCAD. Look, so far so good. I've reached my target. So now I'm just kind of chilling, to be honest, because look, my target was around here and we reached it. So it was a very strong area of support, but we broke it. We broke it and we stayed above it. Today we tried to clear it again, and look, we struggle. We struggle to push back up. Look, if we continue to struggle, then I'm leaning further south, to be honest. And also, if oil starts pushing nicely here to the upside, well, you could expect USD-CAD actually, drifting further south. My next target on that will be maybe somewhere around here. This low of the 14th of April, 14th of September 2022. There we go. 1.3139, and not really ideal target, but hey, I'm just going to keep it for now. And then maybe I'll go all the way towards that 1.30 zone. But at this point, look, I'm looking at this from the bearish perspective. And if we continue to trade below this highlighted zone right here, then yes, I will go further south. And also we have this downside line. So for those bulls who are trying to find some sort of, a light in the end of the tunnel, yeah, it could be this. A break of this downside line could be that little light in the end of the tunnel. But look, at the moment, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a 50-day EMA crossing the 200-day EMA. Last time we had that, we went higher. And look how well we went higher. Now, I'm seeing a crossroads here of the, the 200-day EMA. So that's why a little bit, you have to be a little bit on the careful side. US dollar against the Mexican peso. Yeah, so we're having this nice hold up here near the 17.08 territory. So look, if we do drop and stay below it, I'll go further south. Simple as that. For the upside, I need to push up at the 17.2526 territory right here in order to consider a larger correction to the upside. GBPJPY, also something, it's the same analysis basically, guys. I mean, so I'm just going to draw Fibonacci from here up until here and see where my potential 23.6 could be. It's around here somewhere. So 180.25, that's what I'm going to be aiming for if we continue to trade below this, upper side, or let's say the highs of last week. I'm going to aim for that 180.25 first, and then I'll go from there. GBPUSD is something, again, also to consider this week. So at this point, look, maybe a bit of a slide back down could be nice. So maybe we could see from the short-term perspective, we could consider this 23.6, roughly around that 1.2763 territory. And then, yeah, we could go Maybe, you know, we'll see from there if we can rebound and push back up, or maybe we could break it and go for a larger correction to the downside. So that's why this way I think that would be the best right now. But again, this is only from my perspective. You guys do what you feel comfortable with. EURCHF, also, yes, we're going to be watching the SNB on Thursday. So yes, we'll see how this is going to play out. But so far, in general, it is annoying, and at the same time, it's nice because look, it's annoying because it keeps giving me these false breakouts. It's nice because at the end of the day, it still comes back and stays above the highlighted territory and above that 50-day EMA. So great for the bulls. Now we're seeing a bit of a retracement back down. Look, as long as we stay above that 50-day EMA or this highlighted zone, I'm going to continue targeting the upside. Simple as that. If we stop, if we break below this highlighted territory right here between the or let's say if we do fall below the 0.9760 zone somewhere around here, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside. And finally, EURUSD, guys. Yep, seeing a nice little retracement. That's fine. That's all okay. Yeah, I still have this nice upside line right here. At the moment, yes, we could also be seeing something of a bullish flag. Look, for that to happen, I think that still I would like to see a confirmation push, somewhere maybe above the high of Friday. That's my kind of safe game plan. I don't like to kind of be, way too risky. So if we do pop above the 1.0970 territory, great. That will confirm a forthcoming higher high and potentially more buyers could join in. If we do break the upside line here, great, I will consider some lower levels. But at this point, I am just, yes, I like the fact that I can draw, a Fibonacci somewhere here. And we're near already that 23.6. So maybe, like I said, this could be a nice good area to target in the short run. We'll see how it plays out, if it provides good support or it doesn't, if it maybe will rebound, maybe will fall lower we'll go for a larger correction to the downside here. Who knows? But at this point, I'm just going to aim for this. Some of you might say, but hey, what about this, Fibonacci? Look, it's never clear, it's never crystal clear which one is the correct. So if we do reach this one first, and then we see, for example, it's stalling here and maybe getting a little bit of a rebound, then you can redraw this and push it this way, because then we maybe will, rebound from here, push back up. If it struggles to go higher, then we know it could drift lower, and then it could pierce through that your previous 23.6, and then it could go for the other 23.6. So this is how sometimes it works. I know it's sometimes, it's never straightforward, guys. I mean, if you have been trading, then you'll understand it. It's never straightforward. Sometimes it is. Well, sometimes a few things happen, but again, I try to stick to cautiousness. I try to manage my risk carefully because I don't want any negative setbacks. Anyway, guys, like I said, this is my game plan for now on the euro dollar. I'm gonna keep an eye on this 23.6 together with this territory, the highlighted zone between around that 1.09 zone. This is gonna be my target for now. And then yes, if we do rebound, great. If we don't go lower here and we straight away start pushing higher, I will keep on monitoring the high of last week. If we do clear it, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high and potentially more buyers could join in. Simple as that. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for your questions, for your views, for your rockets, for everything, for your time, guys. I really appreciate that. I'll have to wrap it up right now. I went a little bit over my time, but really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. And if you wanna catch me tomorrow, my last webinar for this week, before I go on a break, and then I'll resume on Thursday next week. So tomorrow is the last one for like I said, for this week. Join me, Daredevil. Thank you very much for the kind words. So yeah, guys, everybody, thank you. I really appreciate your time today. So thank you for killing an hour with me. See you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So like this video, We speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.